This episode made possible by Restaurant Systems Pro.
We are eating a peanut butter protein cup. It's actually vegan, 15 grams of protein in that one little cup, all clean ingredients.
Do you mail order? Can I get these in New Hampshire?
I can ship you some of those to New Hampshire, absolutely.
With excitement, allow me to introduce to you today's guest chef, Katie Dixon. Chef, are you feeling unstoppable today?
I'm feeling unstoppable. I think a lot of times, we feel like forces of nature against us sometimes, and I'm such an optimistic person that I feel like when you're really thinking, I've got this against me, this against me, this against me, and you're like, how am I going to do this? I think about the plane at takeoff. Like, the wind is against the plane before he flies. And I feel like that's been my journey. I feel like there's always going to be a reason or an excuse on why you can't do something.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
But you've got to look for all the reasons and have the courage to step out. I grew up the oldest of four. We were each a year apart. We would go to my grandmother's farmhouse kitchen every weekend. We would have big family breakfast, lunch, dinner. It was time spent around a dinner table. It was conversations. And I use this a lot, but my grandmother would serve love on a plate. She instilled in me a love for cooking. I never in a million years thought until 8 years ago this is going to be what I was doing. Like, I knew it was my passion. I didn't think it was going to be my occupation. I actually majored in marketing and business in college, and then I end up in the restaurant industry.
But that's a good background to have getting into this industry. I think it's an area where a lot of people struggle in this industry is promoting yourself. Mm-hmm. We're so caught up in the food and the thing that we forget there's so much other stuff you have to do to be competitive in today's market.
Absolutely. I had a professor in college that always taught me if you can meet the needs of your customer, you will be successful. Yeah. And in doing that, also staying true to yourself. Yeah. So that is one thing that I've always been like, I've got to meet the needs of my customers and stay true to Katie, and I'm going to be successful. It might be hard. I might have to pivot. I might have to turn and adjust, but you can be successful.
All right, we are here with Chef Katie Dixon at Birdhouse Cafe. Yes, this is a cafe. You're about to see what I'm talking about when we roll in, but in the back of your mind, just keep the word scrappy, and there's lessons to be learned here. So shall we go in?
Let's go in. Come on.
Cool. So, when you were, this was an opportunity, what was going through your mind?
When I finally decided on this location, it was all about low risk. Yes. It was about creating an atmosphere inside Birdhouse Cafe that people could come in and we're like, oh my gosh, this is cool. This is neat. It doesn't have to be in the perfect spot, but you can create something really cool and bring people in that they think it's cool.
A theme that echoes a lot on the show is start where you can.
Start where you can.
That's kind of like what's going through my mind. You don't need your dream restaurant on day one, and shooting for that on day one will be a really good way to fail.
Yeah.
So start where you can, scale. I know this is just the beginning.
Yes, so we're inside an appliance store.
Yes.
This has furniture, antiques, tiles, like anything you can imagine you need for a house, and then inside that you find Birdhouse Cafe.
You pass the crystals for good energy.
Right. So here we are, Birdhouse Cafe.
Beautiful. So what was it like? What was the transformation of the space? Was there a transformation for you now versus where you started?
Oh, absolutely. So when I first came in here, there was carpet. It was all different colored cubicles that were like showcase rooms for appliances. In my mind, just that I want something open concept. I want people to come in and see us cooking in the back, understand how to create something healthy, and realize it doesn't have to be complicated.
Yeah, and I think it's worth mentioning too, your first project was even more scrappy.
Oh, yeah.
We started at a Vitamin Shoppe.
Yeah.
What did you have, like a booth or like a counter space?
Yeah, we had a little counter space, and we had a commercial kitchen in the back.
Yeah.
It was inside of a Vitamin Shoppe. It was super kind of weird, but it was good and it worked. So.
But at that time, you were also focused on wellness, which you still are today.
Yes.
But you created a win-win situation because now what you're trying to do, your target market's right there of wellness and good eating.
Yes.
And you had free rent because you were also bringing in business, and that's the idea of scrappiness, low risk. And
win-wins for both parties.
Exactly. And looking at this space, what's the win-win here?
The win-win here, obviously my best friend owns B&S Appliance. I'm bringing in customers that then realize what she has to offer on her side and vice versa. Yeah. The win-win here is, the low risk of getting started here and, being able to take the stress off of myself and JoJo giving me the opportunity to be inside here and create without having super high, expenses.
And it is a beautiful, fun space too.
It is. So, in here, my name growing up, like everyone they call me Bird.
Yeah.
Birdie.
Okay.
So Birdhouse really came to fruition from my nickname. Plus, a mama bird like nurtures the young. I wanted it to be like a house here. I wanted it to be like you sat down, you were comfortable having conversations. It felt like home. So to me, a bird's house is one where they're nourished and learned. And I wanted this to be an environment where my clients, my customers came in and learned how to create and eat healthy. So Birdhouse was established. So it kind of feels like you're sitting at home in the kitchen. Chefs, I have my crew that they just cook right here in front of the customers, which I think is super cool. We use all fresh ingredients here at Birdhouse. We use organic as much as possible. We just want to bring what our farmers bring to us, we want to bring it to life. So here we're super close with our relationships with the farmers around the state. We have our culinary team here at Birdhouse that is instrumental. We're only as strong as our players here. So I'm really fortunate to have an incredible team at Birdhouse.
Do you want to introduce yourself, my friend?
I'm Malcolm. I went to culinary school, trained as a pastry chef in New Orleans and North Carolina. And then I came into contact with Katie at a food festival in Meridian where I met Rain, the manager. And then Katie kind of just snatched me up.
And then he tried to leave me. I was like, wait, you're not leaving? Where do you think you're going? But I think the cool thing is that when I told my crew earlier this morning that you guys were coming, like, he is inspired by you and what you do. And his culinary professor in college showed, their class, you. So thank you for what you do and what you bring and how you inspire, not just chefs like myself, but Malcolm that has starting his culinary journey. I mean, you've made a big impact on him and the conversations that you're having with chefs. Before 2016, so like I said, I played basketball in college 2 years. I ended up transferring to Southern Miss. That's how I made it to Hattiesburg. Just kind of a fluke thing. Somebody asked me to be in a Miss Hospitality program. We're the only state that has that. I win Mississippi's Miss Hospitality. I travel and promote economics and tourism for the state for a year. That's when I decided I don't want to be a biochemistry major. I'm going to go to Southern Miss and I'm going to do marketing and business. I like people. Yeah. Travel. That was the
Miss Hospitality.
Yeah, Miss Hospitality.
What is that?
Basically, Miss Hospitality represents the state. Okay. You work with Visit Mississippi. You promote economics and tourism. You try to bring visitors to Mississippi. And it instilled in me just like a true love for Mississippi. And it really launched me. I say without that, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing today. Travel opened my eyes up. I didn't travel a lot as a kid. It was 4 of us, so I came from a very middle-class family. It really taught me so much about myself and other people and about food.
How did you grow during this time? I mean, you talk, like what you said, you learned about yourself. What did you learn about yourself?
I learned that what I knew was so small. And travel, to me, just opened your mind up to a world of possibilities, a world of opportunities, a world of differences. Yeah. And to me, to see people and places differently than I originally had ever known I could see people and places. It was beautiful.
So again, to inspire, empower, transform the industry, how have you personally transformed? Who is Katie Dixon today versus Katie Dixon back in 2016?
Oh, gosh. I'm definitely a much more resilient, stronger individual. I've learned to trust other people. I've learned that I don't have to do it all myself. I've learned that I don't have to know everything. Continual learning is key. Putting people in place and asking for help. A lot of times we think we have to know it all, and we don't. For me, Robert, being able to bounce things off of him, find someone you can talk to that you trust, that wants your best interest and the interest of your customer base. I think those are really important things because when I started, I thought I could do it all. Yeah. And I can't. I'm only as good as my team is.
I love it.
And the people that support me.
It takes a team. You
can't do it alone. It takes a team. You cannot do it alone.